Hello there, everybody. It's been a while, hasn't it? Yes, it has, and I'm not going to get into why it has been right now, because I'm planning another video. This one, works, and I'll explain it in the next one, and I'm going to keep this one, relatively short, because it could get relatively long. Let's start out with why I'm making it right now. Yesterday, as I'm filming this, it'll probably be a few days past that when I actually upload this. Queen Elizabeth II of the United Kingdom died. Now, I'm not British myself, but this came as somewhat of a shock to me. I knew it was going to happen, of course. I mean, she was in her 90s. The woman was very old, and it was coming, but despite the fact that I'm not a Brit myself, she had been a part of the social and political, but just, cultural landscape for literally my entire life. She's actually a character in a favorite childhood book of mine, the BFG by Roald Dahl, and she showed up in, comic books, and everybody knows the Queen, regardless of what part of the world you're from. She's one of the most respected political figures ever, and the longest lasting, I believe. And now she's dead, and I can't say it didn't come as a shock, even though, as I said, I know it was coming. So, first and foremost, I would just like to start this video by saying, Your Majesty, you will be missed. Anyway, that being said, I am not making a video about the Queen of England. Not exactly the purview of this channel, but every now and then something happens in the real world which kind of kicks my butt to make me make a video which I had already planned to make, and it's like, oh, okay, this is an appropriate time to make it. And well, Her Majesty had not much, if anything, to do with fiction, which is my purview here. I'm sure I enjoyed enough of it in her time, how old she was. She was a very strong figure as a woman. She was one of the most respected and powerful, female on Earth. So I felt that it was a good transition, as it were, to introduce this video, which I had been planning all along. And what is this video that I plan to do all about? This video is about female characters, and how some people say we don't have enough of them. There's always somebody saying it. Oh, this show is sexist because it doesn't have enough female characters. This movie is misogynist because where are the women? It's like, and the this and the that and all of the things, but, a big one for a long time has been women. Now, as someone who actually loves fiction and reads and watches and experiences fiction, this has been really annoying to me for a long time now. Why? Because there's female characters all over the freaking place. There's so many of them. It's a completely nonsensical argument. You can argue that we want more female characters. Fine. I mean, you're going to get them anyway. But saying there aren't any? That is so ridiculously stupid. There are female characters of all kinds, dating back to goodness only knows when. And to prove it, I have compiled a list. Only a very partial list. This is a list of 120 awesome heroines. Why 120? Well, because we're 20-ish years into the new millennium, the 21st century, and there's so pop culture, as we understand it today, is roughly 120 years old, give or take a few years. So I thought it was appropriate. I have not included a few characters that either have recently been getting, had or have been getting adaptations, or I know will shortly be getting some in the future. So, like, if you're wondering why characters like, Batgirl, Wonder Woman, Lara Croft, etc. aren't here, that's because they've already had their go at it not long ago, and it would be ridiculous to include them here, because this is largely about ones where it's like, this is the potential that people are ignoring. So, yeah. I am just going to start reading off this list. So, here we go. 120 Awesome Heroines. Ahem. Agatha Heterodyne, Alana the Lioness. Alice, Amethyst of Gemworld. Angua von Uberwald. Anne Onimus. Becca Cooper. Betty Cooper. The Blonde Phantom. Buttercup. Chance Falconer. Charlie Baltimore. Christine Spar. Cinderella. Colonel Nora Hunter. Contessa Caroline de Contini. Coraline Jones. Daja Kisubo. Dart, from Atari Force. Death, Deja Thoris, in either movie or original flavor. Darren Sharp. Dor, Dorothy Gale. No, not that one. I mean this one. Dot, Dr. Chandra Kinsolving. Eglantine Price. Ellen Ripley. Elphaba Throp. Emma Peel. Evie Hammond, again original, only if you prefer. Faye Valentine, Gadget Hackwrench, Georgina George Kieran, Ghost, Glinda the Good, Gosselin Mallard, Granny Weatherwax, Handy Mandy, Hawk Girl, Holly Golightly. Honor Harrington, Iris Shaw, Jennifer Mays, Jenny Jump, Jessica Rabbit, Jarell of Jory, Judge Anderson, June Robbins, Katniss Everdeen, Caladri of Mindolin, Kiki, Kira, Kitty Pryde, The Night Sabers, Lady Blackhawk, Lady Luck, Laureline, Liberty Bell, Lilandra Naramani, Lindsay Brightman, Liriel, Lucy Pevensey, Madeline Goodlaw, Maid Marian, whichever is your preferred interpretation, Marie, Mariel Gilwacker, Marion Ravenwood, Mary Jane Watson, Mary Marvel, Mary Poppins, Megan Pushanu, Merle, Mildred Hubble, Mina Harker, Mina Murray, Miss Bianca, Miss Marple, Modesty Blaze, Morgana Macabre, Morticia Adams, The Motor Maids, Mrs. Wiggins the Cow. Mrs. Pigglewiggle, Nanny Ogg, Niall Etland, Nyasha, Ozma of Oz, Pao Zotto Jean, Patricia Pat Savage, Pippi Longstocking, Planetti, Platinum, Princess Eilonwy, Princess Truella, Princess Zelda, Rachel Summers, Sabriel, San, Sanderlin Fatorin, Sarah Bailey, Sarah Williams, Scraps, September, Sybil Sue Blue, Silk Satin, Spider-Girl, Storm, Sun Girl, Susan Storm, Susie Hendricks, Tesla Strong, Tiffany Aching, The Triplets of Belleville, Viralidane Sarasri, Veronica Lodge, Veronica Sawyer, Vesper Holly, The Witches of Eastwick, Yoko Tsuno, and Zoe Washburn. There you have it. 3 pages. Might have been 4 pages if I double-spaced it. On this list, you have female heroic characters of all kinds, from young girls to old women, to butt-kickers, to women of peace, to just about any type you can think of, really. You have black women, Asian women. You have aliens. You have vampires. You have, name one, pretty much. And these are all either main heroic protagonists or prominent supporting heroic characters. I could do another list on villains, or on sidekicks, or on, any of those. And this is, I had to make some tough choices in terms of cutting this down, because I had quite a few more. I had to make them fit the parameters I'd chosen for myself. But I could have made this, a list of 150 or of 200 or of 500 if I really did a little more, if I really did some more poking around. And I'm sure a fair amount of people watching this, hoping people watch this, are wondering right now, what about this character? What about that character? Why did my favorite not make it onto the list? Why did all these women not make it onto the list? And that's the point! This is just my, this is just from my personal, my personal preferences in idiosyncratic tastes in fiction. If I was more into, say, anime, or video games, or another particular style of fiction, like swords and sorcery, which I'm not the biggest fan of, or I could go on. You go anywhere in the landscape of fiction, you will find so many more characters than these ones. This is just a taste. This is just a tiny example. If you want to find a good female hero, this is virtually nothing. This is a tiny drop in the bucket compared to what you can find and what you can make. I don't know if you're familiar with the concept, but fiction means it's not real, means you can make up whatever you want. You want a strong female character? Fine! Write one. Find a computer or get a piece of paper and a pen. There you go. Whatever you want. There's so many ways to do it. And people whine about this, not enough characters. Make your own, you brats. And furthermore, I think it's this attitude about female characters which is harming pre-existing female characters, which are getting shoved at us. Right now, because of the attitude, there aren't enough to prove they're enlightened. Studios are shoving them at us one after another. Look what's happening to the MCU right now. I know, timely reference. Who knows what it'll be like, in another year or so. But right now, I've kind of dropped out of the MCU. I haven't really been watching a lot of it lately. But, I follow this stuff. And there has been show after movie after this, with one after another female character often being treated very poorly and with very low quality because they're in such a hurry to shove it into our eyes. Like, look! A female! We're enlightened! Look how woke we are! Look how... It's not the way to treat any fictional character, male or female. Characters need space and time. They need care. If you want to present something, with any quality to someone, you have to give them, room to breathe, room to be well written and well put together, and so you get a good movie or show or whatever. If you're so desperate to prove that you're enlightened and not sexist by, giving us a freaking machine gun fire of all these different female characters, you're not properly treating any of them. You want to give us more female superheroes, more female protagonists? Fine! Great! There's plenty to choose from, or plenty to make. But at least do us the service of, giving them proper treatment. And, don't just do one of either men or women. If it was all men, no female female protagonists at all, I would be making exactly the same comment, you know, ease off on the men, you know, and I say this as a man. But, you know, I got proof here. That's not the case. I mean, not the men thing. The not being enough women, girls, females in fiction, there's loads. So, yeah. This was just a rant thing. I don't know how long this is. Hopefully not very long, because it's, you know, I don't have much more to say on the subject than that. But you are doing female characters a disservice by pretending they don't exist. First off, you know, they do exist. And second, you know, shove them at us in too much profusion, you're going to get sick of them because they're going to be badly portrayed and because of haste and everything, and that isn't good for, you know, for anybody. So, that's it. I hope you thought this was interesting. If any of you watching this are saying like, hey, they should have included like my favorite characters, feel free to make your own list. There doesn't have to be 120 of them, but like make your own list in the comments if you want to, or you know, post a video of your own with a list of come up with 1,000,000 of them. You could. I'm absolutely positive you could. I stopped at 120 because, you know, that's a lot in terms of like figuring out. Also, I included like my where all these characters come from. That's included down below, you know, bibliography, just so no one can say I'm making any of these up. And that took long enough to compile on itself, if you want to. But regardless, that's it. I hope you enjoyed or at least tolerated this little rant of mine. And assuming everything goes well in terms of putting it up and everything, hopefully another will be along. Won't say when, but hopefully like won't be another freaking million years. But yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, and subscribe if you have a mind to. I can't make you, you know, but apparently it's good for the channel if you do. So, yeah. And, yeah. Hope to see you again soon, and, ta-ta.